all I know is I'm gonna chill because this is Stir in the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Hippy Dicky Moon. What's up, my man? How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, Don. Are you okay though?
Hey,
Before we get
there's no King there's no King COVID around here, baby. Come on.
you're okay.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah,
That's
come on.
it.
Yeah, come on. All right, we're good. Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
All right,
Dicky
chill.
Moon, man. He was scared he was gonna get the King COVID through my phone. Hey, it's no joke. I know it's a serious thing, but we try to lighten it up a little bit,
It is serious though, for real.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's a big deal, and I just try to lighten it up a little bit. First off, thank you so much for spending the time with us because there's a whole lot of crap going on right now across the globe. So thank you for spending your time with me and the fans. Hopefully, it's not just my mom and dad watching. Hopefully. So thank you again. Now, Hippy Dicky Moon is from my area, and I get to see plenty of me some Hippy Dicky Moon. So I'm in Connecticut. So for the people that do watch and don't know of or heard of, but didn't get to see him maybe once or twice, this is what this is all about. We introduce Hippy to fans that don't know him and get some new fans and get the ones that he does know. We pull back the curtain a little bit and we just chill. Hey, we just chill a little bit, So,
He knows.
all
All
right.
about
Are you okay? Do you need a V8, my friend?
No, I'm good. I'm good. That's just the way the camera's set up for now.
All right. I was just asking, maybe. Hey, if you need a V8, I got a connection. So, Hippy Dicky Moon, you
Yeah.
you have quite there's a lot of hippies in wrestling. I mean, not a ton, but there's some hippies in wrestling, and you stand out, my friend. You've got bright yellow. You've got the sunflower seems to be like a little kind of little thing you've got always going on to identify with. You wear bright colors. You come out. You do your thing. The crowd always loves you. We like to talk about the character behind the wrestler, if that's even a character. That could be Mr. Moon, just amped up a little bit. So talk to us, the fans, a little bit about Dicky Moon, the character, Hippy Dicky Moon, please.
I mean, as in like how it got started. Is that more the way how you're
Hey,
asking?
if I don't come across straightforward, I'm not that bright. We all know that I'm not that bright. So yeah, what we like to do is how the character became, how it evolved to where you are now. Have you always been Hickey Dicky Moon, Hippy Dicky Moon?
Yeah, I mean, I really do feel like this character is not much of a character. It's just a little bit of, a blown up version of myself, me with an exclamation point. Like the dances that I do out in the ring and when I come out to the ring, like it's stuff that wouldn't be accepted to do in the middle of, a stop and shop in regular life. But it's something that I would do in my living room, and in the wrestling, it's a perfect platform to do that. So it's not obviously just one little aspect, but yeah.
Now the character Hippy Dicky Moon, was that an evolution, or did you just come out of the gates with that character?
Yeah, right from the get-go, I was like, just kind of labeled that off looks from the second I stepped into a wrestling academy, right when I stepped into PWA.
PWA. Hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but
I'm assuming we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. I had Miss Kara Scarfo on my show, and I would love to get into that later on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was just I was labeled that right off the get-go, and it was it was kind of perfect. It was easy. I didn't really see anybody else doing it. Not easy like as in any. It's just easy, but easy to just identify as a hippie. It's not a very complex concept for people to understand. You say it's a hippie,
Right.
people already have a perception in their head.
Yeah. Hey, as long as you invest in that character, but if it's an extension of yourself, if you will, it's easier to do a character like that in wrestling than to start. Okay, what am I going to do? And you pick a character, you build it from scratch, and you have to invest it in that way. It is a little bit easier from my advantage point from the outside. It could be a little bit easier.
Yeah. The evolution of this character has just felt so like natural, honestly. Like it's not. I'm trying to think of really the best way to explain it, but like because it really is me, because I don't feel like it's that different from who I really am. I just get to let it flow with the way my life is going, and that's just the way it is.
Hey, that's got to make your job in the ring and in training and and keeping that character going. That's got to be, a little bit more comfortable maybe than some other wrestlers where they have to stride a little bit more for that.
Well, and it actually just made me think of like I know I've heard in seminars and things of that nature. What would people they would want us to think of scenarios and say, what would your character do? What would John Smith do? What would this guy do? And that those kind of things come easy to me because my character isn't far off from me. So most ways that Hippy Dicky Moon would solve, that's the way I solve them.
I do follow Hippy Dicky Moon's page, and you do put up some cool pictures, and they're never always positive, always smiling, never negative, never frowning. That's something you always strive for, yes?
Oh, I try. I mean, I'm not perfect. It does happen. I get in my slumps, as
Yeah,
we
that's
all do.
okay.
That's natural, and that's even just another thing to connect the character. I'm not always be a smiling, happy-go-lucky person all the time. No one could be, and that's not believable.
Mm. Now, when you come in, you use you stop, or even like in a match, you'll even stop your partner, and you'll be like, chill. And it kind of takes everybody, every single person in that venue, if you will, it gets all of us involved with one word. Was that something that was part of your whole thing, or did it come a little bit later?
This is like a newer thing. And it's funny, I'm seeing like memes around all about like, if you're from Connecticut, you say chill and yo and all different kind of accents and tones. But yeah, I feel like that's just something like I caught myself saying around
Mhm.
friends. So then let's drag it out. Let's make it bigger for
Hey,
wrestling.
I feel you. I mean,
So,
I'm not being a pain in the ass, but I think you're cutting your beautiful face off in the
uh,
frame. I'm just saying, hey, I I just want to, yeah. See, I want to. Hey, that's okay. If you have to do that, that's all right. But I wanted to see your beautiful face.
of course, that's the money maker.
It is the money maker. uh, Now, what I also like to do, I like to gauge the men and women that come on here because you've been in the business a few years. We'll get into that. As a worker, and you work a lot. A lot of shows. Do you still watch wrestling, like the mainstream stuff, the WWE and all of that stuff?
I try. I don't have cable right now, honestly. But I stay up on the clips on YouTube, and if I hear that's like a really good match, I'll go and look that up specifically. I mean, I'm obviously still a fan.
Right. Yeah. Now your move set, you're quick like a jet. Oh, hey, what's up? You're quick like a jackrabbit, and you do some cool shit in there. What were your influences to get you to where you are in that ring? Because you do some cool, the Hurricane Ranas and some top rope stuff, and you do a little mix because you can get on the mat, do traditional stuff, you know, that mat. So give us a little insight of your background.
So, oops, sorry.
That's
So,
okay.
so my like background would be I did amateur wrestling in high school. So that's, you know,
Okay.
I was a wrestling fan starting like in middle school. I kind of started watching wrestling, and then I started doing amateur wrestling in high school, basically because, you know, I would see documentaries and stuff and stories about Kurt Angle and stuff like that, and a lot of these wrestlers had history of amateur wrestling. So I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I should probably have a background in amateur wrestling, and it's a great base. Like that, it helped me a lot. And but then from there, like influences wise, oh my god, guys like Rey Mysterio is why I do,
Mhm.
why I wrestle, why I like wrestling. If it wasn't, because I call it wrestling like channel surfing, and it was
Mhm.
his like fast paced, crazy. You know, it was probably early on in the match, and he's flipping and flopping and diving all over the ring, and that caught me. You know, channel surfing. So him, and then the whole cruiserweight division at that time on SmackDown was just awesome. Like guys like Tajiri and Billy Kidman. Brian Kendrick is a huge. I love Brian Kendrick. That dude is sick.
It is, and I felt bad because when he came back for that whole cruiserweight tournament, when they were trying to bring new stuff going on, and he was part of that, dude. Right now, I'm telling you, like Brian Kendrick for me has always been a favorite because of his mind and his characters and stuff. But he got lost right in the shuffle again, and now he's disappeared like 2 or 3 times, all in one sitting. So I feel you with that Brian Kendrick stuff.
Yeah, he's kind of lost in the shuffle, but man, his showing in that though, and in the cruiserweight division, he is really smart. Like the way he wrestles now, he's a totally different wrestler than he like the
Yep.
Brian Kendrick that I watched when I like grew up watching wrestling is the different guy than who is in the ring now.
Oh,
That's great. I love it.
yeah. It's part of the evolution. Sometimes you get to a point and you're like, you know what? I got to change it up a little bit. Uh, is that something that Hippy Dicky Moon would ever think about? Because I've known you for a few years now, and I've never seen you anything but a hippie. And I don't think I could ever. I don't think my brain could understand anything but Hippy Dicky Moon by seeing you. What is good with the whole hippie thing? Does that keep going on?
I mean, I don't really see myself. Not that I couldn't, you know,
Mhm.
confident in my ability, but I really think it's just easier for me to do something that's more natural, and it could be a different variation of a
Mhm.
hippie, you know. But I kind of always see myself just being a myself with an exclamation point. You know, that's
Okay.
always what I want to do and what's I think best for me.
Mhm. Uh, Now, just a hypothetical. I don't think I've ever asked anybody this, but um, hypothetical. You get some eyes on you, and you end up, getting on some different kind of venues, different kind of promotions, and NXT says, "Hey, I'm looking to sign hip. Why do I want to call you fucking Hickey Dicky Moon? I mean, I've never called you that in my life, and I've already done it twice. Um, and 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 NXT says, "Hey, we want to sign Hippy Dicky Moon." Now you've done the hippie thing the whole time through. Guys and girls, they don't want to lose control of who they are and their gimmick and their character and everything they've built. Would you personally, because you like that character, would you let go if they wanted to do something else with you, or be like, no, this is my identity. I'm not letting it go. So it's this or that. What would you say to that?
That is, I think everyone wants to. I mean, truthfully, everyone kind of wants that shot at WWE, and you can always go back and do what you were doing. But I think if I ever had an opportunity to do that, I would have to jump on it. You know, those are once in a lifetime opportunities. Like I can't say no
Yeah.
to that. You know,
Hey.
I'm not me, especially for me, someone like me. I'm not a huge I'm not a bodybuilder. You know, I'm not a guy that I feel like is going to get a lot of shots. You know, so if I get a
Mhm.
look, I'll take advantage of that look.
I don't want to compare, but I don't know if you watch AEW, but there's one Marco Stunt that is doing quite well right now, my friend.
He is. Marco Stunt's, he's cool. I'm a big fan of Jungle Boy.
Dude, you know what? I am so glad you said that because I don't really get peeved in wrestling. I like to be equal and neutral and like everybody to shine. But when Jim Ross calls him Jack Jungle Perry or whatever the fuck he says, that pisses me off.
I forget what is his name actually, because Jim Ross confuses me.
His name is Jungle Boy, gimmick name, but his name is Jack Perry. And yeah, and Jim Ross kind of mixes them all up whenever the fuck he wants, and it really gets me going.
You gotta cut Jim Ross some slack. He's up there in age. He's still doing it. He's awesome.
Isn't that amazing to see guys like Jim Ross still doing it? I mean, man, we've seen him from way back.
I mean, that's amazing. Like, that would be a dream of mine, if I ever had a shot at AEW, even just like one match, and if Jim Ross could do commentary on my match, like, oh my God. Imagine
that. And again, hypothetical. We're talking cool shit here. I've never done this. Again, hypothetical, that happens. Jim Ross, you felt the whole vibe. It's going to probably be a blur, like 30 seconds or so, because that's kind of, I think, what happens as a performer. You get so excited. This is your big moment. It's a big thing. The spotlight is on, you could be called Chase Owens. Who knows? But hey, I didn't mean to copy, no copy infringement. You could be Chase Owens down the road. Who knows? And do you look back at that video and replay it? Because sometimes you get lost in the moment and you don't even know what the hell happened in that match.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, I would have to absolutely do that. I would love an opportunity like that, That'd be so sick. It's the dream. So I want to travel everywhere and go everywhere.
Can I say right now, correct me if I'm mistaken, because you came out of PWA and PWA, as you're wearing a jacket. PWA, I came in on the latter part of its tenure, probably the last year and a half or so. And I brought my nephew for the very first time to wrestling. He was like 4 years old or so. After the show, what happens, it's a small room. It was in Chester, Connecticut, small room with a ring, probably about 30, 40-ish chairs or so. And it was really cool. Intimate setting. The good guys, the baby face would go to the left of the ring. The bad guys would go, or the heels would go to the right side of the ring, and it was split up. Well, so weren't the crowds. All of the people on that side would usually cheer for the face, right? And after the shows, though, you guys were always very, very gracious with your time and would let the fans come up, take pictures, hang out. And you guys had my nephew, you guys, I'm saying yourself and Moonshine McCready, you put him on your laps. You got us to take some pictures. You talked to him. Man, PWA, I miss so much. So let's start from when you were at PWA and you became a trainer. So let's get up to that point from where you started, if you could, please.
Yeah. I started around 2012 when PWA was in New Haven.
Okay.
Started wrestling matches probably after like 8 months, maybe 8 months to a year. And off we went. Yeah, I was the hip. You can see. I'll try to share it today, probably tonight or tomorrow. But a picture of where it's like a before and after, like my first gear, and then a more.
Yeah.
And then off we went after that. Started doing tag team wrestling. Became a tag team champion. Then we moved on to the spot in Cheshire that you're familiar with, where we did Friday Night Fights. Became the international champion after beating Joseph von Schmidt. I don't know if you were there for that one. Were you there for that one? No. Dang. That was a good night.
Okay, hit the Paul Hussein button right there. You're in PWA. They've moved to Cheshire. You gain championship from Joseph Von Schmidt. Please take us, the fans, through that. What the excitement? What was that like, winning a match like that?
Nobody saw that coming in a million years, and that is what made that match and that night so cool, for sure. And especially, like, the setup for Friday Night Fights. So there's people on the left and guys on the left and right. Sorry, good guys and bad guys, and nobody knew what was going on. Nobody had any idea that was going to happen. So the reaction from everybody in the building was genuine and authentic, and all the good guys came up, lifted me up on their shoulders and celebrated, and oh my God.
Man,
I'll never have that again. Like, I mean, I'll have that again in different scenarios, but I'll never have that one again.
Man, I wish I was there now after you described and shared that with us. Man, it just sounds like a hell of a night at PWA, because that place really gets cranking with the fans. They are very hot when they get going, man. Those fans in there.
I loved the setup. Like, I don't know, like, for such a small, you might look at a place that small and be like, oh, it's super tiny, there's not much potential here, but like, we used every single drop of potential that was in that building. Like, the setup was like, it felt like a move. Like, I would explain it to people like, it's like going to the movies, kind of like you're what, like, where is the seating?
Mm-hmm.
As far as the seating goes, it felt like the movies. And like, the fact that the guys are on the left and right, but the walls are tight, it didn't feel like there's just a couple guys in a big empty room, you know?
Yeah.
So it made a small amount of people that might have been there really feel intimate and packed.
I talked to Miss Kara Scarfo. What a delight she was. Oh my goodness. We got to talk all sorts of stuff, man. But what I did talk to her about was that interesting, very unique, good guys left, bad guys right. Did you like that environment, or was that something you had to get used to? Because it's very unique. I've never seen anything like it.
Mm-hmm. It was fun. Like, it's unique, and I have to say that I like it. It's super fun. Like, you'd have to really be careful about doing stuff on one side of the ring. You know, if Dan the Man is on this side and I'm trying to climb the ropes, I need to watch out, you know, because there's 5 other guys that can distract the ref. And yeah, it's just mayhem, but it really had you like on your toes at all time, the whole time. You never knew what was going to happen. The whole setup of the event, you didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know who you were going to wrestle. The fans didn't always know who they were going to see that night. The guys in the ring didn't know what was going to happen, if someone was going to interfere easily. Nothing will beat that.
Because you would pick, they would pick the MC, Mikey Fabulous, if I'm to say that correct. He would pick 2 numbers, and they would be random. So it would be something like this. The fans would come in, the setting would start, and then he would pick a number. It could be number 1. Then he would pick a number. It could be number 8. And as long as you knew your number, and you never knew who was coming in the ring, that right there, that little bit of adrenaline rush on like, who is it? What's going to happen? It was always there throughout the entire event that you guys did. And it was so cool, man.
And there'd be times where like you're in there and you're hoping you pick numbers with someone. And happen. Oh, I gotta wait till next week. Maybe I'll get them next week. And like, I know we'd always tease people too. Like, even if it wasn't, if they'd say number 8 and I know I'm number 7, I might just put my hand up on the rope and then come back down. That was so fun.
That whole teasing thing, that gets us riled up. Oh my God, because then not only you would do it, the bad guys would give it a whirl, and it would almost kind of happen 1, 2, sometimes 3 times, and it would be like, come on, who's getting in the effing ring? Oh man, you guys really put on amazing shows at PWA, and I will never forget that place ever. I mean, as a fan, I can't even remember the memories you've done at there, or have at there. But part of that, the randomness. Now you say, okay, now say you've wanted Dan the Man, all right? There's something going on, and his number and your number just haven't jived and don't jive. Oh, that's got to get you going. And it kind of works with the fans too, because maybe one of these nights you're going to draw that number, and you didn't need a storyline to continue something like that, because it was just all part of the ambiance of PWA.
Yeah, the story was just kind of the excitement of, it's like why a live show is better than a tape show, because you never know what's going to happen at a live show. And at Friday Night Fights, like, you really didn't know what was going to happen. Sometimes you go to an independent wrestling event, and even though it's live, obviously you're sitting watching it with your eyes in person live. Not like what's going to happen as far as outcomes, but which matches are going to happen, and you might have an inclination as to what some of the outcomes may be.
Right.
But here, you didn't even know what matches you were going to see.
No. I just had an interview with the Fogman right before you. Oh man, we were talking some cool center ring history that I never even knew about, But he was there at every single show. He probably has every single one of your matches. If you guys go to on YouTube, you go to Mike Abbott, and I didn't even plug his media. Oh my God, he's gonna kick my ass, dude. But if you go to Mike Inevitable on YouTube, you can see all of this PWA stuff. And I know, because PWA is trying to make a resurgence, that they have a YouTube channel. You can go check their stuff out. But the ambience of that place, and I wanted to ask a question about the randomness. Who is your most favorite memorable random pick?
I'll say it like this. My favorite random pick would be Jimmy Limits. And I randomly picked him a few times, but that first time that I picked him, he gave me a fight, and I like fighting that guy.
That name, not only me, I don't think many of us expected to hear that Jimmy Limits name. Man, Jimmy Limits is a fine, fantastic wrestler. But holy cow, did the crowd shit on him every single show. Jimmy Loser. And we loved it. He hated it. So we loved it more. And we did it louder and louder and louder. And the guys on the left, you guys love that stuff.
It's so fun. Oh my God. And it was he would lose. He get frustrated. People like me would win. He'll get even more frustrated. And he'd come back next week. I think I'm going to win this week.
Oh, God. I have to say,
I hear things are much better for Jimmy Limits now. I think he's doing much better now, getting a lot more wins.
Well, he's a champion right now. He not only is he a champion, he's a two-time, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to get the data banks here. He's a two-time. Yeah.
Good for Jimmy Limits.
Yeah. So that's Jimmy Limits we've seen some some amazing names that come in PWA. And Jimmy Limits, again, fantastic wrestler. Just didn't see that coming. You threw me for a loop. My heart's a little patter here. Wow. I got to take a sip. I'm sorry.
Should I just name off a couple more? Should I just rattle off some names? Get your mind going?
You could. You could. You could, because there's been some fantastic names that you've gone against. So give us a few more of your favorites.
See, EC Negro. I like wrestling him. Who else we got? Montekia.
And EC Negro, big giant guy. Montekia, though, you and him, you make great matches together. I've seen a couple of them. Oh my God, you guys are fantastic together.
He's quick. He's a fast one. I feel like I'm fast, and then I get in the ring with Montekia. Makes me step my game up, so that's great. Another House of Glory guy, Evander James.
Man, going on to do some cool things at House of Glory. That Crown Jewel Championship is amazing. I know he's not that now, but
and it's so pretty.
It's such an amazing championship. I don't think I've ever seen anything so beautiful. I mean, holy cow!
Whoa! Have you seen the Test of Strength championship?
I'm gonna have to edit this out so the GMIC don't shut me down. Oh my God, he's gonna be so pissed. And TJ Howell's dad. Oh my God.
Hold on, let me get my other phone.
No, don't do that. What are you doing? I thought we were friends, man. Come on. Hey, chill.
Yeah. All right, we're cool.
Good. I might have to edit my very first video, me and this one.
That Crown Jewel, it's right up there. Not Crown Jewel. Yeah, that House of Glory championship is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Some crazy characters have come through PWA. That dude with the big old giant hat of his, Matthias Glass, and that thing was pretty crazy. You had crazy guys like Pancakes coming through there.
Pancakes
that was different.
I just saw a Pancake earlier, right at the end of last year. Still killing it. The fans were going crazy.
Man, you guys had some. You give us some amazing times. I can't imagine how many cool memories you have from PWA. And now I want to bring up to the tag team thing, because you tag team with Moonshine McCready, another fantastic talent, and you guys are called Above the Influence. You like a little flower. I won't tell nobody. And Moonshine, he likes a little sippy. I won't tell nobody. You know, it is what it is. And together, you guys make a fantastic tag team, a package. Everything that you guys do is always we suck it up. We love all of the stuff you do. Thank you. And how did you guys become a tag team?
It was so easy. Here's the easiest way. You just be best friends. That's the easiest way.
Okay.
The best tag teams are good friends, I think, because you don't even really have to communicate in there. You can just kind of feel each other out. I can anticipate what Moonshine's going to do. He can anticipate what I'm going to do, and that's a guy who I want to travel and hang out with,
Now, while you're traveling and you're chilling and you're sipping, what I like to do too with the fans, because just seeing Dickie Moon at a show and hanging out at the merch booth, you give your, hey, how's it going? And you take some pictures and we can talk maybe for a minute or two. But I like to get the fans a little more inside. Take us on just maybe one road trip story that sticks out between you and Mr. Moonshine McCready, because I know there's got to be a ton of good ones. Give us fans maybe just one good one that stands out. Could you please share?
I know me and Moonshine took a big trip down to North Carolina with a bunch of other PWA people, with Von Schmidt. Kara was with us. I'm trying to think. Someone else. I don't know why I'm blanking. But went down there for it was like a 2-show taping. They were taping for their public access wrestling show. So you'd go out there, wrestle your match, come back, and then 1 or 2 matches would go on. You'd go out again, just pretend that a week has gone by, and you come back. I mean, that environment was really cool. That the way the Southern wrestling is kind of done, like there was no music. We just kind of walked out there. The ring announcer says your name, you wrestle your match. As soon as the match ends, you step outside the ring, you get interviewed, which is similar to what we do at our training days, is you cut a promo right after. And the Southern wrestling is a lot more different. It's not as like high flying. You don't see as much high flying and acrobatic stuff, but a lot of like wrestling, grappling.
Excuse me. I don't have the King COVID. I'm sorry. I just had to cough a little bit. I don't have the King COVID.
But every time that I go travel with Moonshine and we get a hotel, we do like to maybe get a 30 rack or a 12 pack or something like that. Usually not a 30, but on this one, we happen to get a 30. And me and Moonshine walked around the whole hotel area, walked down maybe half a mile, quarter mile down to the gas station just to get some chips. Finished that entire thing. As we got to the gas station, offered that guy a beer, just begging to finish this this case off. Trying, please, someone help us. Just for him to tell us, I would suggest putting that away. That's public intoxication. Oh my God, you're right. Let's run back to the hotel. By the time we get to the hotel, right when the breakfast opens, so we're able to make ourselves some nice Belgian waffles, some fresh eggs, some apples. That was a very solid night. And then get back to the room around 5:30, fall asleep.
Being a tag team, you guys, you're best friends. That's how kind of really the chemistry. It's always there. I don't think I've seen. There's been a couple miscommunicados. I gotta say, it's not always been flawless, but for the most part, we'll say 99.9%. You guys have really always been on the same page. You have so much fun in the ring together with your opponents. You bring us, the fans, on that cool ride. But I also like to ask, because the curiosity gets me, when do you hear us, like when we're always saying little stuff around the ring or whatever, or when you come out and we pop, and do you hear us, and have you always heard us when you come to the ring? Because not all wrestlers hear the fans or the crowd when they work or come out of the curtain.
Sometimes, if you guys are like, if someone in particular is very loud, then yes, you'll hear certain people. If you get used to certain voices, you can hear them. I know right when I first started, and it's like a tunnel vision, all I would ever see is right in front of me. I could barely even tell that there were fans there, because I was so afraid of even acknowledging them and recognizing them, because then, oh my God, that'd be terrifying. Now I'm in front of all these people. If I just pretend that I'm just in front of this guy I'm wrestling, this might be easier. But the more experience you get, the more comfortable you are with people, and your vision widens and widens. And now, I'm able to hit, you're able to hit a drop kick, stand up, take a breath, and listen, and really catch it all in. So now I'm hitting the point in my wrestling career where I can really have fun in the ring. It's not as stressful.
Yeah, because you need a good mindset to keep everybody safe in the ring, and being distracted up here, the physical part, it doesn't mold or meld together without both of them working. So you got to have both to make it all happen. I also like to talk about with so many fans, there's so much wrestling out there. Test of strength of test of strength wrestling is again some of the most fun I've ever had in wrestling, and it really reminds me of when PWA closed. Test of Strength has got that really tight, intimate setting, and I've been seeing you at many shows over there. Now that PWA is kind of gone somewhere, can I say that's your home base right now? Test of Strength in East Hartford.
Absolutely. Yeah. Easily. Easily.
No, the family over there is pretty cool, and I got me some Slick Wagner Brown coming on, and I cannot wait to talk to him.
But tonight?
No, not tonight. He's coming in the very near future, very near future.
Okay.
Yeah, he's penciled in. I got the date. I got the time. Now we just got to wait for that day to come, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
Talk to us about Slick Wagner Brown as a trainer and a mentor, because everybody talks so highly about him, and I'm not looking for dirt. That's not what I'm looking for. But I like to get each person's perspective that's been under the tutelage of Slick Wagner Brown, because he's so respected. And I just like to get the thoughts of each man or woman that's been under his tutelage. So talk about Slick if you could.
So that's easy. The first thing that I think of when I think of Slick, as far as like his positives, are he has like the way that he views wrestling. Man, he can make it so easy. And wrestling is easy is kind of quote unquote is a phrase and is something that I've heard all throughout my career, as in but is in a different way, as in like once you know how to do things, there's a lot of repeating, a lot of things are the same, a lot of movements are the same, so once you kind of have a good base, it's easy. But the way Slick explains things in real life terms is just so helpful. The way he knows how to organize a match to make sense, villain and hero, is just something that he explains it in a way that I've never heard, and it's super helpful. Like I felt like the first half of my training, so my training at PWA was very much in ring based. So I feel like I got a great base in the ring, like execution wise. And then I went to Test of Strength and I learned how to really like compose a match with emotion and all that good stuff that makes wrestling great.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic, man, because if you stay in one place, and I'm not saying if PWA didn't go away, you could probably still be there, but my point being is that different places give you that different experience, and you grow as a wrestler in that fashion, and all of that, man, that just makes a better competitor of yourself.
Yeah, and when I first started training, Von Schmidt always told us, go out, train other places. If a different dojo is open up on a Wednesday or whatever, go down there. Go to the CZW camp. Go down there, because everyone's going to teach you different things, and you can pick and choose the things that you like. And when you're in the ring, it's your picture that you're painting, and you paint it the way that you want it. And I don't know. That's been lived my wrestling career so far.
That's cool. You seem to have had excellent guidance from Mr. Joseph Von Schmidt, Slick Wagner Brown. At this point, I see big things for Dicky Moon. I really do, and I know that it's a struggle in wrestling. And you've put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of sacrifice, because that's what it takes to be a wrestler. And I just want to get back to PWA, please, because I don't know if Miss Scarfo told you, but you're going to Georgia. PWA's coming back. And I almost shit my pants. And hey, take us on a little Dicky Moon, PWA is coming back. We want you to come to Georgia. Take us on that ride.
Yeah, I mean, I got the phone call from Von Schmidt, and he said, "Hey, number 11, what's up?" And here we go. I guess I'm going to Georgia. That's really all he had to say to me. I mean, I'm not gonna pass that down. I haven't seen the guy in a long time, so it's gonna be fun. I mean, and the list of the people that I saw that were going already. I mean, I had to join that list. I mean, and not to toot my own horn or make myself any more important than I am, but I feel like if you're gonna bring PWA back in a Friday night fights aspect, I feel like I have to be there.
Dickie Moon. And you know what? Miss Garfo said the same exact thing. She was like, I had to have specifics to come back. And she's bringing back the likes of Sebastian Cage, yourself, Nutrius X. I mean, holy crap. Never mind with all the other talent. Like you said, that's already established and going to be in there. I know with the whole virus thing, we don't know when that's going to happen. But man, when that does happen, my eyes are going to try to see as much. You know what? She's trying to convince me to take a road trip when that does come up. So I want to say there is a chance you're going to hear my silliness in the crowd. So I don't know yet. We'll have to see.
Yeah, you got to give people the report, the live report, and you got to upload those videos. And well, the people from Connecticut need to see that Georgia wrestling, man. It's all new.
I hate to interrupt, but I think I've heard notifications, and I'd rather, we don't want any notifications.
Yeah, swipe those away.
So, yeah, let's swipe away. I apologize for that. Now PWA is coming back. That's very exciting. And man, Fog is on the edge of the seat, waiting for them to come back to Connecticut because, again, with the scheduling, we don't know. She said, Miss Kyra Scarfo said that PWA is coming back to Connecticut late summer or early fall. And oh my God, I am overjoyed. I cannot wait. And the same exact setup is going to be just the way it was before. Good guys over there, bad guys over there. Yeah, that's coming back now. A little inside scoop if you haven't talked to Kara Scarfo. Now there's something that is like she said something about the tournament, the 8 tournament there, the Super 8 tournament. But there's something else in the works for newcomers or something like that. Don't quote me. Take a look at Miss Scarfo's interview if you want to listen. If any of you guys and girls out there want some PWA info, that's the interview to watch because Miss Kara Scarfo doesn't watch. She doesn't do interviews, so it was really cool to have her on my show. CT, you've got to be excited that they're coming back to Connecticut, though, no?
Oh my God, absolutely! It's gonna feel like a best of, and a big reunion. Some of these guys I'm lucky I still get to see on a regular basis, but some of these guys I don't. So it's gonna be fun.
It is because we don't see Mr. Like you said, Mantequilla. We don't see him often. If PWA comes back, there's no way that Mantequilla is gonna cannot come up to PWA.
Be a regular.
Man, you guys, I see all of the characters, and you've had, the Nathaniel Carr and Dan the Man thing going on for a while, and when he got a little one-up, Nathaniel Carr got that one-up on Dan the Man, the crowd absolutely lost their crap, and Mama Carr was there and his family. Those those things right there that happen in wrestling are just like, they stand out because they just feel a little special when those kind of things happen. And a match besides that title match, is there any specific match that really stands out that was somebody that you've worked with that you were like, you know what, man, I think that's probably the best match I've ever had?
Um, y- yes, I will answer that, but I'm thinking of a different match. I didn't know you were gonna really go with the route of someone that I wrestle. I thought you were just gonna talk about a match. But as far as what comes to mind, the PWA student tag team match with that had Sammy Diaz and Eli and Slade Dangerfield and Dajay. There's, who else is in there? There's a bunch. Ryan Bear.
What?
That match. I
Ref
love that. I think that's my favorite match in PWA history.
Wow. No. Mr. Bear, if you will, he was Ref Ryan, correct?
Yeah. He was refereeing at that time. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He got some action in there.
Man, the times to be had at PWA, I am just so looking forward. But I'm not letting you get off the hook. I like to get a feel of who you most comfortable and think, you know what, that was my most bang up match, man. That was really cool, and it stuck into your heart.
Probably Evander James. When I went against him, that was just something. Like he is like a freak athlete. I don't know, sky's the limit for him. He just came back from Japan, right?
He did. Yes, he did.
He's unbelievable. So
I can, again, that's another person. Can't wait to see what the future brings for Evander James. I have a very specific question, and it has to deal a couple years back. We attended a Lucha Libre show in our area. You were on the bill, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it was way different than any wrestling that I've ever been to. First off, I couldn't understand a single word that the commentator was saying because he was saying everything in Spanish. That was number one.
Yeah.
Number two, during the matches, and I know I'm fast forwarding though, during the matches, he was talking like it was like a late night funny comedy show, and you guys were wrestling. And he was like yada 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 yada, and I'm like, what is he doing up there? And then thirdly, you guys didn't even have your own music. He was playing some random ass music. So all of those three things I need to know. Do things like that really distract you as a performer coming into an unknown and getting all of that crazy crap thrown at you? How can you wrestle straight like that?
It's definitely not the ideal situation for us. Super, like looking back on it, like I am glad that I had that experience because it's hysterical. Like
Dude, I'll never forget it.
The fact that like I'm pinning someone, you hear uno, dos, oh! Like as I'm pinning, that is just hysterical. Like waiting behind the curtain for your music, and then not hearing it, hearing some random song, and then just having someone go now. Oh, okay. I mean, I've been name before. I've been called my opponent's name. Yeah, you name it. It's definitely happened, and it's that's all I could say. It doesn't happen all the time, so it's hysterical.
Oh, that and you know, my cheeks are killing me because just thinking back on it, it's absolutely hysterical. All of that combined, and they were having these random intermissions. Like we would take a 10 here, we would take a 10-minute there. There was like 3 intermission. It was so weird and different, but it was fun. It was cool wrestling, and we all had a blast. And we're sitting here talking about it today.
Yeah, but live commentary probably not the best idea for pro wrestling. Like live for the audience there.
Yeah, because it was Latino based. That was definitely Latino. That whole area, the company, everything. So my dad and I were like, I don't know. I don't know what they're saying.
I think the referee like was a little biased in my match. If I remember correctly, I feel like Sammy Diaz picked up the win in that match. And referee might have been a little biased because of where we were at, you know.
He he did win that match, and that was kind of, you guys had this solid little rivalry going. Yourself, Sammy Diaz, the ace, if you will. He's part of the firm. And I'll tell you, that took me, and I know it wasn't just me, because if you took me on a ride, you took many of the Test of Strength fans on a ride, and whoever watches Test of Strength, because I'm telling you, that was a fun rivalry, but it didn't just stay in Test of Strength. It kind of overflowed into PAPW. And oh man, talk us about that rivalry, because before I let you go, I have to get some insight from Dickie Moon on that rivalry specifically.
Well, do you know where I first met Sammy Diaz?
PWA.
PWA. So I first met Sammy Diaz when I took over the training with Moonshine, McCready, and Bull Dread, sharing that role with the all three of us. And when Sammy Diaz walked in for his first day of wrestling school, and so basically I saw him crawl to walk, run, have his first match, gave him his first match. And yeah, we had a competitive rivalry. It was just fun to have a competitive rivalry with someone that you're friends with, you know, because he would bring the best out of me. I felt like I brought the best out of him. And then things went south.
Very south.
Yeah, things went south. So Sammy got hurt. Not on my doing, it on his own, just freak accident in the ring, and must have felt like I didn't reach out enough or care enough as a friend, and took it very personally. At PAPW, I accidentally hit him with a steel chair, if you recall. That didn't help the situation. And yeah, things really, really boiled over.
Yeah. I see you have a good memory of your matches and stuff.
I'm trying to man, there's a lot of steps to this rivalry. This would take a while.
Hey, but you know what? Because if you get invested, if the company, that's the thing though, if the company allows that storyline to just kind of linger a little bit, give us that ride, because not all the best stories happen in 4 weeks or what have you. So you got to stretch those out sometimes. And your guys was perfect, man, because it was some really cool, fun stuff. And like you said, I hit Sammy in the head with a chair. That didn't help matters much. That took us on a different level of where your rivalry was going,
It's always good side character. Not to call him a side character, but if you're looking at myself and Sammy being the direct feud, there's always offshoots. We had a little three-way feud with Nutrius. Nutrius popped in. Now he's got the firm, so I always got to mess with with Richard E. Stone. Constantly have to be on the lookout for Richard E. Stone. Constantly check my mail. See if he's sending me
that dude paperwork. Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah, you got it,
dude. I got it. Yeah, and then Laura ripped it up. Oh God, I love her for that. She ripped it right up.
That's great. Good for you. Yeah. Man, but Sammy would be another one of my favorite opponents. We would. As we mentioned, Jimmy Limits. Sammy's up there too. I can't, as much as his attitude has changed, I don't like his demeanor and his attitude. And he's cocky. He's an a-hole right now, honestly. He does pull the freaking best out of me. He is a fighter, as well he should be. And, yeah. There's going to be big too, but I'll be on his tail the whole time.
Yeah, man, because once he got injured, I felt like, oh my God, we're not going to see him forever, And then when
Mhm.
he came back and we were at the Deuce and the crowd went absolutely ballistic. And then he started swinging a chair at the wrong people and became the firm. And oh, dude, it,
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sorry. I didn't mean to bring this down. My fault. My fault.
That's
But hey,
done.
you, my friend, you took us on one hell of a ride of who Dickie Moon really is. Hippy Dicky Moon really is. You gave us some insight. We went through some cool memories of your matches, where you were, where you started, where you are now. You were very gracious with your memories and your time with the fans and myself and Dickie. I thank you. Really, I thank you so much for that. It was a pleasure, man.
Thank you, Don. Dude. I wish this was. If anything, I wish this was longer because talking about it is really like I was in my apartment earlier trying to think of some stuff to,
Okay.
because I would anticipate some questions that you would ask, but just talking about stuff really is sparking memories and
Well, hey, there's no time limit. I looked at the clock. It's 8:07. I have TJ Crawford coming on my effing show at 9 o'clock. We've got until, maybe quarter off. If you want to push some more time, I'm not afraid. I've talked to Ref Gina for an hour and 41 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk wrestling? Let's go.
Well, Gina can talk.
I,
I'm not
I,
as I'm not as much of a talker as Gina, but
hey,
Gina's got a lot to talk about.
You want to talk more memories? You want to talk some more PA? What the future? What you think the future's going to hold? You want to talk Texas Strength Wrestling? You want to talk Paradise Alley? You want to talk about, hey, what promotions do you want to go? NWA might be right up your alley, my friend.
Well, Don, do you have any match in particular from Friday Night Fights that you remember, like that sticks out in your mind?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't have much. I don't have much going on up here.
My
So what
God.
happens is I have this big burst of adrenaline, lots of good times. I don't remember a lot. I apologize. So if I don't remember, I'm sorry. You know what I do remember is like way back in my childhood when I grew up in wrestling. Those are the things I remember most. But like the most recent shit, I'm not that bright. So I apologize.
Oh, well, um, I know something about you that I know what got you to PWA in the first place. What what drew you there in the first place? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was when you saw my tag team partner, Moonshine McCready, at XWA.
Yeah, dude. Oh, Moonshine McCready. Hey, I talk about that to so many people because he did not say one word to us, the fans. Never. He came out, he did his thing, and I go, holy shit, that's that dude, Moonshine McCready. We're going to see him at PWA. Never said a word. And my God, we love Moonshine, and I've been a total fan ever since. I love Moonshine.
Yeah, you cannot love him.
Yeah, man.
Oh man. Don, I'm trying to think of some other random crap from PWA, honestly, just to chit chat with you, because you were there for a lot. I mean, you did see a lot of Friday Night Fights, man.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that championship because you went through some topsy-turvy times with that championship, did you not?
Well, with the PWA, the International Championship,
Yes.
It did play a little hot potato towards the end. I know it went between myself and Troy Stevens and Montekia. I have an unbelievable photo. And it's one of those where like pictures really say 1,000 words. Where Montekia is standing on the middle rope, raising the championship, and you could see me in the background of the photo, sitting on the mat, like holding my head like this, like just dumbfounded at what has just happened. It's like black and white photo. It looks great. It should be mounted.
Though those are the moments that we take with us, and that gives you a little more passion, not just as a fan. Can you be a fan and a wrestler of matches, like when you're watching on the outside of the ring? Are you still a fan of what's going on in the ring, and because it's such a cool vibe?
There, you have to. Well, it's weird. It's like you have to pick, kind of, how are you watching this? You know, am I studying this guy? You know, am I like watching his moves and watching what he's doing, how he's doing it, why he's doing it, or am I just getting sucked in? And sometimes, and a match is really good when you're trying to just pick it apart, and you catch yourself just being sucked in. That's when you know it's really good.
Now, I'd like to talk about the Test of Strength had a press conference when the brand spanking new tag team championships were unveiled. And I had the pleasure of being there at the Test of Strength dojo in East Hartford. Now, you were there with Moonshine McCready, and there was a whole thing that happened leading up to my dad and myself and our heart of hearts. I can never say that. In our heart of hearts, we were betting on you and Moonshine McCready to be the first ever Test of Strength tag team champion.
I swear it was going to happen.
Yeah. Give us the fans a little insight on what happened leading up to that event.
So, we had great momentum going up, tournament leading into it. It definitely felt like, this was our first real championship opportunity. And I was sure we were going to get it. And just out one night, a week before the event, I got blindsided and sucker punched and knocked out. And that's what ended up becoming the firm. We found out that the firm was behind all that. And that's that took me out of that match, unfortunately. I was able to be there on the sideline, but I had too many broken bones in my cheek and my eye to really compete and feel safe. So
standing outside of the ring, I know you're supporting your tag team partner. Because again, I'm not that bright. Please remind me and tell the fans who his tag team partner and the replacement for Dickie Moon was that night.
Oh God, you're not like Don. You're putting me on the spot, man. Chill.
Hey, I don't remember these things, so I was just trying to because what my point being is, when you're outside the ring and you have an injury and you're watching your tag team partner tag with somebody else to be the first ever Test of Strength tag team champions, how do you keep your uplifting spirit and get behind your partner with a different partner at the same time,
I don't know why I'm blanking on his name, Don, but I know he's one half of the Fun Boys. Dang, why am I blanking on his name?
It's okay. The Fun Boys, and Mr. Haggerty and the Fun Boys at that time, I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention.
But I had a singles match against him previously, so I knew he was going to be a good replacement.
Kevin with the good hair. No,
not Kevin. Kyle with the good Kyle. Kyle Brad.
Yes. Oh God, I feel a little ill just for
two than one, Don. Don, did you what I'm really excited about? I got some just today because I'm getting a whole bunch of little baby stuff, little baby booties and baby hats and baby clothes because I'm having a baby very soon, Don.
You're gonna be a papa?
Yeah, man.
Holy cow! Congratulations from all of us to Hippy Dicky Moon. Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, super excited.
Wow. Okay, that's a you just blew my shit, man. Holy cow. When's the little hippie coming?
Supposed to be coming June 10th, but I don't know. I think we're anticipating an early arrival, so we'll see.
Ooh. Do we know if it's a girl hippie, a boy hippie?
He is a boy.
Got a boy.
Yeah.
Now,
We'll be doing head scissors in no time.
well, I talk about support system and being in the wrestling, the sport of wrestling. It takes, you can't do it on your own. It takes a support system, may it be siblings, mom and pop, your better half. It doesn't matter. Does Ms. Hippie or Mrs. Hippie, I don't know, Ms. Hippie, is that fine?
That's good. I like that.
All right. Does Ms. Hippie, she supports you in your endeavor of wrestling because you got to have that sometimes, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That's one thing that I feel like she loves and adores about me. You know, people want someone with dreams. You know, if you don't have a dream, then like, come on, man. You gotta have a dream. You gotta have something that you're shooting for and striving for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I love her, man. She's great. She supports me 110%. Couldn't have found a better one.
That's what you need. I spoke to Ref Quinn and we talked about the same thing. I tried to kind of gauge a little bit between everybody because if you don't have it, I haven't really run into I don't think I've actually run into one person yet that hasn't had any. But I want to see if it's something that you can continue. And because it's hard, man. It's really hard. You need something, you need people behind you to lift your spirits sometimes, you know?
I feel like in wrestling it's super easy to always have somebody because people talk about wrestling being very like conniving and backstabbing, but there's nothing you can't help but feel connected to people sometimes. There's a deep bond and a deep brotherhood that you gain and a connection that you gain with someone when you get in the ring with someone and you trust them with your body. You have to make them believe that, you're going to give it your all to protect them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though there might be some backstabbingness and connivingness in wrestling, there's going to be a core group of guys that you're always going to fall back on, that are always going to have your back. And I know I have those. So I'm good. So I'm good.
That's awesome, man, because you need it. Whether it be, again, brothers, sisters, or, in the business, because everybody is really, there's a lot of tight knit people, and it's not just say in Tessa Strength, we're a family here, and they say over there we're a family, and I get that, but as a circulation, there are so many brothers and sisters for real that you guys bounce ideas off of, and if you need to talk to, and there's a lot of that out there, because there have been some that have fallen to darker times and demons, and we don't have them around anymore. And I noticed that all the brothers and sisters, when something like that happens, all of try to lift everybody up. It doesn't matter who it is, and I see that all the time, man.
Yeah, all of the wrestlers and the people in wrestling we're all one as far as like it's all one pool, it's all one family. The only real rivalry and like fractures there may be, and it would be just company wise, and that's just competition. It's gonna happen and it's natural. Can we name off a couple? Don, have you been to a wrestler's lab event?
All right, you're gonna kick me in the ass for this because I was supposed to go to their very first big show. They used to do pre-shows, and they were taking it on their own. You and Moonshine, yeah, you were. You and Moonshine were on the bill, and plus other familiar faces and people that I was waiting to meet, and I didn't make it, so I haven't been to one. I apologize, and I know that's one of your favorite places to perform at.
I love the Wrestlers Lab. Wrestlers Lab is, for me, alongside PWA, like my favorite place to perform at. PWA, Wrestlers Lab, Tesla Strength. Those three places are the top for me.
What makes it different? What makes it just a little bit more fun? You know, what do you feel is it a vibe in the locker room? Is it the way the wrestling is? What makes it like that?
It would probably be the experimental vibe of it, like the way PWA, like Friday Night Fights was. You know, we kind of had that you never knew what to expect type thing, and that's kind of, you know, we would get people from outside. People would travel to come to PWA Friday Night Fights, but at Wrestlers Lab, they strive for that. Like that's the goal. So they might have a small group of guys that are core that came in, made a huge impact, made a good impression on the crowd, and are going to stick around. But they always want to have interchangeable people from all different states, to give everyone some notoriety. That the people behind Wrestlers Lab are like so gracious. They're really people who are totally against like bickering between promotions and rivalry, you know, booking events against each other, booking events in someone else's area. They don't want none of that stuff, you know? And that's why I love working for them too. As a hippie, someone who wants everyone to get along and all that stuff, how could I not love that?
I just don't understand why companies do that, and it happens in our. I don't want to say try. I guess I'll say tri-state to be honest, but it happens a lot, and I don't get it because it takes away from the men and women on the show. It takes away from the
and well, us and fans. It only hurts us and the fans.
Yeah, it takes away from the fans, and it takes away from your promotion as a whole because you're not getting that vibe and you're not getting on that run of a packed house where some are here and some are there and such. I just don't get that at all. Never will, never have.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the concept of wanting, you know, your homegrown talent or your guys, but do you want to have the same 15 people just in a different position all the time? I mean, let's bounce around, you know, let's trade guys. Let's go. Let's introduce your fans to our fans and all that stuff.
And that's a thing because I seen PWA was cool. I've seen a couple other promotion like I know you need the promotion's permission, but you would see other promotions belts at PWA if the champion had a strap and the promotion allowed it. So did in PWA, and everybody got to promote each other. It was really cool like that.
Yeah, we would defend titles of promotions. Yeah, I know the AIWF Cruiserweight Championship was defended one night. That was
I don't see why more of that doesn't happen. And I know your brand and your promotion is that, but imagine if right now the current hardcore champion Ryan Frost could go to a different promotion and put that belt up, or somebody from that company or a different company come to that said company, and imagine that stuff. The fan base that could intermingle. Oh my God, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like separation in the sense of brands, kind of, because you can have theme. I don't know. That's not really the best way to describe it, but you wouldn't want to do too much of that.
No,
You
not a
know,
whole lot. No, it would have to be a sprinkle or a special thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it would not run rampant. No, you wouldn't want that.
for sure. Because then it would just feel like one big wrestling. One big.
Yeah, but it would be cool. Like, say, Ryan Frost, I go see him in Ludlow. He defends that belt there. He comes to Test of Strength. I see him. He could defend that belt there. Or he goes to Rhode Island with Cold Cash. But maybe TJ Howell, he doesn't feel like working for the night because he thinks he's better than everybody else. He takes the night off. And Ryan Frost defends his belt up in Rhode Island. I'm
Mhm.
not saying that because, hey, let's all face it. Ryan Frost always has a bunch of tricks up his sleeve. He says he's a wrestler's wrestler or whatever because he wears a singlet. He cheats as much as anybody else.
He wears spandex, Don.
Sorry, spandex. See, he's gonna kill me. This is the second time he's gonna kill me on these interviews. Uh, now there's another wrestler, and I hope I don't mess his name up again because I messed it up earlier, and I called him I called high voltage Omar high voltage Octane on a different one, so I'm trying to make up for it right now. High voltage Omar, he went on a little campaign, and not that he doesn't still, because wash your gear. My question from me to you, because we want to know, he is very adamant on washing your gear, and without being too grotesque or too much in detail, what kind of fumes, what kind of scents, what's with the wash the gear stuff? What do you guys run into with dirty gear?
Every wrestler needs to do their part, because even if we're all just a little stinky, there could be 30 people in one room, one very small, tight, cramped room. And even if we're all just a little stinky, all those little stinkies add up to a big stinky. And nobody wants to sit in that big stinky room.
Oh God, man, he is so pissed when he go wash
every day I see that. I swear I see it like every day. It's important. As soon as you finish your match, rip your crap off. Like spray it down with some fabric spray if you want. Just air it out. Air it out. And that, like, if you do that, you're halfway there. Because the people who don't do, that's where they get a problem. People who rip off their crap, throw it in a bag. I have been an offender of this. If you're in a rush or stuff like that, zip it up and then leave it in the car. Forget about it. Ugh. Woof.
Woof. This week right here, starting this past Sunday, we're celebrating Zebra Week. I've had El Ref, Ref Bill. I've had Thank You. I've had Ref Gina, and as last night I had Ref Quinn. Hey, and I have Miggy Stripes was last night as well.
I'm gonna leave him there. Leave Mickey there.
So my point of all of this is, as a wrestler, do you find it to be more comfortable in the ring with a specific referee? I've never asked this question, and I'm kind of curious about that.
No. I mean, for some reason, whenever Bill is in there, I lose more often. I don't know if that's just coincidence, but for the most part, refs tend to have the same cadence, 2 or 3 count. They all tend to stick to the rules and are aware of the rules and are unbiased. So no, all the referees are good on my part.
I was hoping you could talk a little more trash about Ref Bill, but that's okay. Hey, that's not what we're here for. We want to chill. I got that. So you spoke to us and you said you're going to have a baby hippie. Would you like to see, maybe in the latter years, would you like to see baby hippie follow suit into the wrestling world? Or is that something you'd be like, you know what? Do your own thing. Don't even worry about this wrestling thing.
No, I mean, as a parent, I don't feel like I would ever like force my kid to do anything, but if they want to, I will definitely help and support that 100%, you know? Not any more than I would support anything that they, you know, if they wanted to play soccer professionally, I would support that fully. But it would be cool, and they'd have a easy coach. They don't have to pay.
Could you imagine being able to teach your child what you've done all of those years? That'd be pretty cool right there, you know?
Yeah, definitely, and he'd have a an earlier start than I did for sure. Because like I got into pro wrestling like a little late, you know. I wasn't I think I was 22 years old, 23 when I first started training. I mean, who is it? Austin Theory is just on. He's gonna be on WrestleMania. He's 22. Well, I'm doing something wrong. I did something wrong. I gotta rewind the try this again.
Do you see yourself as a wrestler for as long as you can hang on to this? Is there an end game to 2025 or 2030 something or 40 something? Do you have an end goal at this or what?
I mean, as long as I can still go, as long as I can still like, as long as it's not killing me, you know. I can still get up and feel comfortable. If it was really breaking my back and stuff like that, then I'd have to seriously consider, you know, and think about things. But right now, that's not a worry. And if anything, I'm hitting the like a good course in my career because now I'm wiser. You know, I'm gonna be 30 this year, so I'm gonna be. This is like the wise half of my career.
Gotcha. The future is wide open for Dicky Moon if he continues his wrestling. I don't see it stopping anytime soon because you look like you totally love wrestling in that ring, and it's something you gotta have. If you're just half-hearting it, it shows in your performance, and it could show in being safe in the ring for both you, your opponent, the referee. So you have to be all in when it comes to wrestling. You really got to be all in, man. Before,
I definitely. If anything, I care a little too much, Don. Did you see? Were you just at the last Tesla Strength event?
I was Lone Survivor 2, yes.
Lone Survivor 2. A little backstage info I was not very pleased with my performance that night, and I was very upset with myself that night. And that is something that maybe other people can relate to. I'm sure we're not always pleased with our performance, but on to the next one, man. You can't worry about it.
No, because if you linger, that gets up here and then it messes it all up. It gets your whole mojo in a little whirl. You know, you don't want to get that mojo all mixed up.
It's great. It only takes one bad one to kind of mess up your mojo, but then again, it just takes one good one to bring it right back and feel like the man again.
Oh, absolutely, man. And you know, each performer, man or woman, their own worst critic when it comes to their performance. Not all the casual fans might see what you see or felt in that match. So I say all of you men and women that really get down on yourself, and I know it's hard not to, but when we're watching, we're still there with you. We're still having fun. When the bell rings, we cheer for the person we wanted to win, or we boo for the person that we didn't want to win. It all still works out in the end after the match. And I know you go in the back, you probably beat yourself up a little bit. Take it down a notch. Don't do it so much because we still had a fantastic time.
Well, that's good. That's great. I mean, that's the whole point of it, Don. Like, if I'm upset about it, it's because I really wanted to go out there and like have a good match for everyone out there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think really make it like I don't know if you you catch it, but I try to really constantly ask the people like if they're having a good time. I always want to make sure they're having a good time. I always try to go out during intermission, greet everybody, say hi to everybody, I would shake everybody's hand. That might not be allowed anymore in this new day and age. But yeah, man, 'cause that's what it's all about. It's all about them having fun.
When we come back, everybody's going to be very excited. Wrestling comes back, right? And
Yeah.
what do we do with the handshake? What do we do? The elbow? Do we do the foot? Do we do a knee? Do we do a head nod? What are we going to do when we get back to wrestling?
I mean, I don't know. What's maybe a chest bump? Would a chest bump work?
Dude, I don't have a chest, and I mean, I'm not saying that, but I can't see you. You don't have much of a chest either, my friend. I mean, I know you're an athlete and stuff, but hey, sorry, but you're a smaller guy. I'd hate to see you get chest bump across the room by one of the bigger guys. That's all I'm saying.
Let's try a new one. I like the fist bump is good enough.
Why can't we just look at each other? No handshake, no fit, just peace. Why can't we just do peace?
It's known. The energy is passed. You're connecting just by that.
You don't have to touch each other, and it's right there. I think that's what you should get that petition rolling. We got to get that going into the shows because I'm not kicking nobody's foot, and I'm not bumping nobody's elbow. Yeah.
It's eye contact and peace signs.
Yeah, you have to have the eye contact. You got to have the eyes. Yes, man. Dicky Moon, this has been simply amazing. Hanging out, talking wrestling.
When the world gets back to regular, we'll do a regular one where we can actually sit down together.
Dude, that would be amazing. Now, before I let you go, tell the fans where they can find Hippy Dicky Moon on the social media stuff.
I'm pretty sure I'm good about everything being at Hippy Dicky Moon. That's okay. So it's HIPYDICKY.
All right.
Everything. Check me out on Instagram though. I feel like I'm most active on Instagram.
Okay. Hey, thanks for giving us that info. Now we can interact with Dicky on the face page and the Twitter and all of that cool stuff. His Instagram, Dicky Moon. It's been amazing. And he shared that he's having a baby hippie. He's going to have a little hippie. Congratulations again. That's amazing. Give a big congrats from all the fans to Ms. Hippie. That would be, we want to send her our love. Hippy Dicky Moon, it's been amazing. This was Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid and my very special guest, Hippy Dicky Moon.
Thank you, Don. It's been a blast. Peace.